What's up, guys? This morning I got the 2015 Ford Edge behind me here in the garage. We're going to be doing a front brake job. We got a vibration going on in the front end. We're going to take care of that this morning. Let's get after it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Put together the tools that I need for this project. We've got an 18 millimeter socket, a 3/4 socket. This is for the lug nuts. This is for the caliper bolts. I've got a couple different ratchets, breaker bar, got my cheater bar. Here's my new brake pads and retaining clip, I guess is what you would call that. A couple hangers for the caliper once I get that. I've got my impact, not necessary. A little bit easier. I'm going to use this just on the lug nuts. This is my air impact. If you got a cordless, awesome. Or you can do it old school with the ratchet or whatever. So get your lug nuts off. I got a couple screwdrivers, a cleaning brush, a couple of lights. Keep it light in there so you can see what you're doing. And probably almost most importantly, that's some lube. So we are here. I got the jack and we're gonna lift this car up and get after it. All right, let me see if I can get a good picture of this. So on the back side here, you've got two 18 millimeter bolts, okay? That's gonna take this entire assembly apart now, or off. These are two separate pieces. You don't need to take them apart. I guess you can if you want to, but there's no reason to. So this will all come off in one unit, and then we'll hang it from the spring. All right, so we're gonna grab our 18 millimeter. So let's start with the breaker bar. Yeah, better yet, let's start with some lube. Also should have lubed those up sooner, but that's where we're at. So on this top bolt, brake line's a little bit in the way, but it's got enough play in it. It's not that big a deal. All right, so I actually switched over to my ratchet just so I can get a better position on it. And I'll put our cheater bar extension on here. Make sure I'm not hitting anything. I'm gonna get this loose here. Torque on here. Oh, come on. That one's, man. I'll say it's 100 times. I've said it 100 times. The right tool is the best tool, and I don't necessarily have the right tool. I've got good tools. When it comes to stuff like this, I may not have big enough tools. I'm doing the best I can with what I got, and that may take a little bit more elbow grease, but so be it. It is what it is right now. I have broken ratchets and breaker bars this way, so come on. And I just broke an extension. So I got them both to move. I get very creative and so we're gonna put the ratchet on there. All right, so here's a good look. I've got my ratchet on this bottom bolt. Here's the top bolt, like I say, right behind the brake line, but you got plenty of movement there. All right, so I'm not gonna take that all the way out because I don't want to put too much tension on this bottom. So let's get this See. All right, guys. So I got the caliper hanging from this heavy-duty bungee here, and we got the rotor there. Now, so one of the things we'll look at, this car is a 2015, so it's only 6 years old, maybe close to 7 years old. Probably the first time it's had brakes done, maybe not, I don't know. It's got about 60,000 miles on it. I do want to make sure that there's no like retention pin or retention clip holding this on, okay? Now, this rotor's not wanting to move, so we're going to have to persuade on it a little bit here, and we'll get the sledge out and get that moving around. All right, so we are going to be replacing this, so it's not a big deal. Like I said, we are not, I'm not doing this because the brakes are bad. I'm doing this because there's a vibration in the front end when you brake. So very typically that is a warping in the rotor. So I am replacing these. That's why I'm doing this. So I don't care to bang on this a little bit. Now, if you were, let's say you were doing a half axle, you know, you've got a torn boot and a CV axle that's gone bad, and you need to take this off. You don't want to go banging on it and destroy it unless you want to go ahead and do brakes at the same time. Because now I'll start hitting around here where it probably wouldn't be as big a deal. But if I don't get any response hitting it around here, I'll start hitting it on the outside, hitting it back here, and try to get some movement out of it, which is what I had to do on the other side. All right, so you've got back here, you've got your piece of the caliper that has the pistons and holds your slide. So this part can slide back and forth as it needs to keep a solid grip on your rotor. So now again, you can see the pads are not bad. There's still a lot of meat on that pad. You know, most of the time you're replacing brakes, there's not going to be much left on these. These are still good pads. However, you know, like I said, we're doing this for a vibration, not because the brakes are worn out. So honestly, I guess with these pads being so good, it probably has been changed. So but we're changing them again, and you've got this retaining clip here that comes with the new pads. This clip here basically holds the two pieces together. All right, it's not attached to the pad at all. The pad will pop off there. It's kind of sandwiched on there from probably just rust. And then on the back of this pad are some clips that go into the piston. All right, guys, so got all this open, got these pads off. So got the clips. So this is the rear one. This is the one that's on the inside of the car. These are the pads that are on the outside. So these would be tire side. This would be motor side. You know, if think about it like that. So, and the clip that came on there with the retaining clip or whatever that is. So, yep, we've got those. Looks good. These look good as well. Same clips. Looks like the same size. We can put them face to face here, match them up. Everything looks good. Same shape of the tabs, same size. Yep, everything looks good. So we got the right brakes and we're gonna get these reinstalled. All right, guys, when I went to pick up these brakes, it seems like there was a lot of options. I'm working on an SEL all-wheel drive, and it seemed like everything made a difference in how big these are, and it has 18-inch wheels, so that made a difference on the rotors as well. So I want to make sure that we've got the right parts here. So we do have a 5-lug, which is what we need. Let's take a look. I'm not going to take this. All right, let's lay this on top here, and they appear to be the same size. Sorry, camera work here, guys. Trying to do this with one hand. All right, so I'm gonna flip this over and check this diameter in the center. Make sure it goes over. Let's see, the axle housing and in between. Now you can't see this, but you're gonna make sure that this size in here going around, I guess, would be the hub assembly. It's the same size. So looks like we got the right ones. All right, so definitely one of the tools I need to get at some point in the near future, I'm gonna be doing much more brake jobs, which I'm sure I will, is a caliper compression tool. So a couple different types. One that goes through the front side here and pushes them down. I've seen another on Amazon that's a ratchet tool that goes in like brake pads, and you ratchet and it spreads it out. Or you can go old school and use a clamp. I don't have heavy duty C clamps. I got these kind. So, but I got the old pad still in there. We're gonna grab it as close to the center as I can. So I'll probably have to do one then the other. And I drilled a little hole in the handle of this clamp so I can get a screwdriver in there. That's what happens when you use tools in a manner other than which they were intended for. The best tool is the right tool. Vice grips to the rescue. All right, so now I'm gonna pop this inner pad out. All right, before I put everything back together, wire brush here. Get rid of all this brake dust, any buildup, any stuff like that. Spray some brake cleanup in here, wipe it out, make sure we get it cleaned up, especially the places over here where the pads actually slide. Make sure we get any buildup out of there so those can move the way they should. Make sure we clean up the surface where the pads go against. That can cause, you get just some buildup back in there, can cause some vibrations. And just some brake noise. All right, don't know where I lost you there. Thought I was recording, I wasn't. All right, so I got the caliper all cleaned up. I got the new retention spring bracket, whatever you want to call it, installed here on the outer side. Again, that just holds these two pieces together. All right, so I've got it slid all the way back. Again, we got these clips we got to pop in there. So I decided to pop that bracket off because it's pushing up on that. I can get these. Pads in place a lot easier. There we go. So now what I'm going to do, I'll actually pull that slide out a bit. Again, careful not to go too far. Get the outer pad in its place. Alright. Now, both pads are in their spot, so moving that slide back and forth helps out a lot. But it's going to make with the pads in there, this isn't going to move as easy. It's going to make putting this on a little bit harder, most likely. What'd you call me? Make me look stupid again. All right, I'm gonna have this little hammer ready again. Just sit up there one more minute. Come on. All right, so what I'm doing, so it's got these two places. All right, so it's got a flex. All right, those hold it in. And then there's a little place, these little tabs, there's a little place in here, these holes that it needs to go into. So, laying those up there, okay, and I'm gonna squeeze on that. There we go, they're going into place. All right, and I'm just gonna get a little tap, tap-a-roo. Get in your home. Okay, we're good. Not hard taps, it's not a big deal. You just need it just needs some minor persuasion. Oh, everything seems to be supposed to be. That is moving. All right, so I'm gonna lay this back here again. Again, it's hanging by a strap. It's not hanging by the brake line. Don't do that. All right, so I got my caliper all cleaned up, and I got the inside smothered in anti-seize, including in here and around this rim. So hopefully whoever changes these brakes next, whether it's me or somebody else, won't have to be banging on this again. And brake clean all over the pad surface. All right, so you want to wipe this surface here down front and back with brake clean. Just spray it down, brake clean, wipe it off with a rag, because it's got a coating on it that keeps it from rusting in the store. And that's not really good for your pads. You want a nice clean surface for your nice new brake pads. All right, so we're gonna get the caliper back in place, get those bolts back in there, get those torqued down, get the wheel torqued down. So these bolts, the torques on these bolts, I looked it up, is 98 foot-pounds. And then the torque on your lug nuts is 100 foot-pounds on this vehicle. Let's put her back together. trick that helped me on the other side, I've heard other people doing, grab a lug nut, put it on there. Obviously it doesn't need to be super tight, but hold the caliper in place. That way caliper is not sliding around. While you try and get this bolt lined up. Alright, so I got my torque wrench at 100. Previous side here, so. Can I do 98 foot-pounds sitting down? Probably not. Now you can put anti-seize on the outside of your brake rotor so that your wheel doesn't get stuck due to rust, which I've heard happens. However, I'm not worried about that in this car because we keep up with the regular maintenance oil changes, tire rotation, stuff like that. So pulling these tires off, you know, every 5,000 or 6,000 miles and rotating them, you shouldn't have that buildup. Now, on cars that I work on, I don't know if the people are going to be keeping up with their maintenance. Cars that we're taking care of for somebody, or giving away, it's probably a good idea because those may probably not get maintenance the way they should. All right, make sure you tighten these down on the star pattern. You might have noticed I was kind of putting them on a star pattern. Get your wheels on there. They're not cattywampus on there. All right, she's back on the ground and we're ready for a test drive. All right, guys, so I'm in the car now doing the test drive. Everything seems to be going well. I got her, did a good stop at about 20 miles an hour and then took up to 40, try to get the brakes seated and all of that. So I'm gonna take her on the highway here because there hasn't been any vibration yet, but I want to get up to a higher speed. So yeah, not feeling any vibration there. So I think we're good. The other thing that my wife was experiencing, I experienced it too a couple times driving, the brakes would grab sometimes. Man, I got myself dirty, didn't I? The brakes would grab sometimes, and I haven't had any of that either. Excuse me. So I think we took care of both problems today, getting those front brakes switched out. Everything seems to be good. Pedal seems solid, and like I said, no vibration, no grabbing. Everything seems good. So I think we're gonna call this a day. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you taking the time. Hopefully you got something out of this. I always say I am not a certified mechanic. If you watch this video, that's probably pretty obvious. I just like working on cars and I like helping people. So that's what I do. That's what we do with Project 1511. We're just trying to help families in need have safe and reliable transportation. This video in particular just happens to be me working on my own stuff, because that's what I was doing today. If you do have anything you'd like to donate to Project 1511, is greatly appreciated. I promise you, 100% guarantee you, nothing that you donate is going to go towards working on my own cars. I have a full-time job. My wife has a full-time job. I pay for my own stuff out of my own pocket. To be quite honest, so far with Project 1511, I'm paying for a lot of that on my own pocket as well. So if you feel like you want to contribute and help out, that would be greatly appreciated. I can only do so much on my own. That being said, for everybody that has donated, it is so greatly appreciated. It's helping out so much, taking care of things. We're wrapping up 2021 right now, and it's looking like we're going to be able to, for the first time, now we've only been operating for about a year now, but the first time we're going to be in the black coming to the end of the year, which I am super stoked about. Be able to pay myself back for the money I have put out, and my partner, and all of that. So thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for everything that you're doing to support us, whatever that may be. Anything, if you do want to give, don't feel like because we work on cars that it has to be a big donation. It doesn't. Every little bit helps. A couple dollars will buy me a can of brake clean. $5 goes towards this, and with community funding, everybody putting in a little bit is going to be a huge blessing to us and help us help more people. So thank you again. Thank you for your consideration, for your prayers. We appreciate you and your support. God bless.